Growth Network. Well, we're just going to chat a little bit today. Why? Because I got some things I need to say out loud, and I thought, why not put them on here while I'm talking? Um, I'm examining a lot, I'm looking at a lot, and I'm deciding what I like, what I don't like, and I am not at the level I need to be at. And that's the honest God truth, and that's kind of where I'm at. Is I'm like, what level am I at? And I'm at a certain level, and I don't like it. I think I can do more. I can be more. I can be more. I need to obviously make more money than what I'm making right now. I think my career can be a little bit different. I want to level up. And I've heard that phrase and I like it. So I want to level up and I want to bring people with me to level up. Because I don't think I should only level up by myself. I think we should all level up a little bit. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like, kind of to workshop it and figure out what we can do together to create a new opportunity for everybody, but also what partnerships I need to do. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you about me. I'm going to tell you about my background, what I've got, and what is available. And then you guys can sit there and determine whether we need to connect or not. And that's pretty much where we're at. So my background is in a lot of different things. I said I have an undergraduate degree in political science, specialist in international relations. My areas of interest were China, Africa, the Caribbean, and some areas like that. Then I did quite a bit of a stint in the political world. So whether it is federal lobbying, state lobbying, or I worked for the Oklahoma State Senate for a while. So I've been in the public policy. I'm on the Oklahoma State PTA board, working in advocacy as well. So advocacy and government relations is a big part of what I like to do. I love the political world. I love the government world. I think it's interesting and fascinating. I teach. I like to teach adults. I said I like to teach adults. I like to be in adult programs, whether it was at the university setting. I taught at the University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond for a decade. I taught at Rose State for about 7-8 years. And I'm currently teaching at OCCC, working with students to get their GED and things like that. So I like working with adults. I like working with independent adults and guiding them. My master's degree is in training and development. So if I need to set up a training program, I can do that as well. So there is that, so that component where I can do training and development. It's one of the reasons when you watch my videos, they tend to have a training component to them. I'm teaching, I'm guiding you. It's because that's my trade. Like, that's what I do. The second part of it that I'm looking at is my doctoral work, which I did not finish, by the way. Brisket always. Hello. Hola. So the second component that I love is I work with students in transition. So if you're a student that is going from high school to college, or you're a student that needs to go ahead, and by the way, I live in Oklahoma, so you know the beef is awesome. So definitely, but so we make sure that we are, so I work with students in transition, students that are at risk, to make sure that they can meet their fullest potential, but I do it very rapidly. And I think that's the difference between me and other people, is I teach very fast. So I don't teach slowly. I teach very quickly. So if you need something done slowly, you go to somebody else. If you need something done very quickly, then you can come to me and I can make that happen. But again, it's quick, it's fast. I don't water it down. It's very direct, and it's like get the job done and get done. So that is not always easy for people. So I have to recognize that in myself. Of course, I have this network that I own and run, and that is 12 different channels, 12 different subjects, all different ways that we can kind of grow things. So if you're interested in connecting or partnering on the network, again, check it out. Check out all the different channels, and then let me know. And make sure that we are really looking at that. You got to tell me what you want me to make sense. So could you make it make sense? What are we talking about? So ultimately, it's something that we can really work together on. Because again, I've got 12 different subjects, whether it is boy dad, whether it's music, whether it is self-improvement or business, gardening, travel, whatever your interest is. Can we build a partnership together? Can we work together in some way that makes sense? um, I'm working on the training and development side, building programming. Customer service is huge for me. And let me give you a tip. Customer service is easy. All you got to do is ask people what it is they want and then give it to them. Now, I love that you said that, Nicholas. It says, how about finding a purpose? Exactly. Now, your purpose part of it is really interesting because what is purpose? Purpose is your passion driven by action. And if you don't know what your passions are, or you think that you can only have one, then it's very difficult to find a purpose, because then you have to then take that passion and then create an action out of it and a plan that goes with it. And then you have to execute the plan. So we can find our purpose and have a great idea of what it is that our life is, but then turn around and be like, wait a minute, we haven't done anything with it. So again, I'm learning that. So I think you can too. So that is, you know what? Sit down, find out what your passions are. I love that. I tell people you can have 3 of them, right? You can, because I like triangles and I like squares. So I'm like, I love teaching. I love coffee right now, and I love economic development and politics. And so I look for things that feed that. Consistency as well. Now, what does your consistency look like? Is it are you working on it daily, weekly, monthly? Is it that you're being consistent in the level of your content? Is it consistent in the friends that you keep? And what kind of facets of your knowledge do you want to? So I appreciate that. So in my area, do you want to know? Are you asking me what kind of a knowledge seeker I am? I said, if you want to know that, I am very much a researcher by trade. So I love to research. And then I also dig into things, but then I'm an observational person where I am looking around and really observing what's happening and then looking for trends. I did a whole series on trends and how to find trends and then going from there. Neither. Sorry. I have friends who are both Bloods, Crips, and Latin Kings, but I'm like, yeah, I'm none of those. Now, working harder, remember, be careful, Nicholas. Be careful, Nicholas. Working harder doesn't always mean working smarter. So we need to make sure we don't want to go trapped. If you're feeling trapped in your work, that's no fun for anybody. We need to find another opportunity for you to make sure that you feel better and you do better, and that'll be great. King, where are you from? What part of the country are you from? What part of the world are you from? I was like, where I grew up? I said, yeah, absolutely. It's all there. I said, I have all of those there. I've got friends on all sides of the spectrum, I promise. So, trust me. You in Jamaica or you in Queens? Which one? Because I think they're 2 different. Are you in the Jamaican part of Queens? It can. Now watch out. Nicholas put on here, could it be my surroundings that are affecting how I'm looking at it? Yes, absolutely. It could be. Well, okay, tell me, if you're from the Jamaican part of Queens, what's your favorite Jamaican dish? Um, it could be your surroundings that are affecting how you're looking at it, but it depends on who's around you and the people you put around you, right? Like, that is an important part of what we do. And that is, if you have people around you that are not helping you or guiding you or lifting you up, then that can be a problem. It could be that you're in a space that you don't need to be in. right? It could be that if you're in a cubicle and yet you like to be outside and moving around, you're in the wrong space. If you're a salesperson, you like to sell stuff, but you're not able to do that, then you're not doing what you need to be doing. So that's not the same thing. So hopefully you'll figure that out. So it is an absolutely like crazy time to be doing all this stuff. And look, let me be honest with you. I'm looking at the world right now and going, I need to figure some things out. And I want to help you all figure things out as well. So if you are looking for something, and I would definitely encourage you. He says jerk chicken, rice and peas, oxtail, and broad beans, beef patties, and curried goat. Well, I'm very boring. Well, I like Mexican food, but again, I like to cook my own food. So I'm married to a Latina. So ultimately, I said I love Mexican food. I like street tacos. I like, if you're 17, okay. If you are 17 and you have opportunities and what you need to do with it, I would say sit down and write down again, where do you want to go? Where's your vision currently at the age of 17? Let's be really clear. You're 17 years old. Your vision will change. But put where you want to go to, then take the opportunities underneath it and pick which one will get you there quickest, and then start building relationships. Start building a network. Look at people that are top in the field that you want to go into and start asking questions. Will you mentor me? Will you guide me? Will you, and then see what can happen in that way. Because I think that's important. And I've got quite a few things on self-improvement in my business, on my business channel. Look through that and check it, because there's a lot on risk, which I think would be important for you because you're 17. You have an opportunity to take a few more risks when you're 17 than when you're older. But at the same time, there's other things in there with stuff. It'll be amazing. There are several things you can watch 1 minute at a time if you want to, or longer ones. My live feeds are the long version of that. Well, yeah, you feel impatient? Yeah. At 17, I was impatient too. I wanted things to move fast. So what you've stumbled onto, King, is this is a network of channels. I've got 12 different channels on this network that you can come and look at. So it varies depending, because my brain does that. I love gardening, so I've got my backyard garden that I grow on a yearly basis. It's quiet now because it's winter. I've got a music channel. I like Oklahoma music a lot because that's where I live. And I'm looking at different people that are singers and songwriters and things like that. I've got business and self-improvement. That's me helping people to grow their business, but also helping people to be better in life, like life coaching and stuff. All about Norman, where I live, so I can talk to you about Oklahoma, all you want to know. And just several other channels, coffee, because I've been into that right now, which one I like, where I like it from, what part of the world, and just things like that. So I give you an opportunity to dabble, because I like to look at different subjects at different times, and so I don't want to stay the same. So that's one reason why the network is the way it is. I do. And not only that, I have 2 kiddos that we adopted, and I have a beautiful wife who is an educator. And so I'm like, it is an amazing life that I have, and I stay busy, and I don't want to be bored. And I think this is what keeps me busy and not bored. Depends on your definition of that, Nicholas. I said, what do you mean? When are you living on your own? When are you turning your own key? Purpose, again, goes back to that idea of what you want to do. But again, know that it's going to change. Why? Because when I was 17, I had an idea. And then when I was 20s, I had a different idea. When I got in my 30s, I had a different idea. Now I'm in my 40s, I have a different idea. So those things change the station of life that you're in. He's finding his purpose. He is figuring out what he wants to do in life. King, 17. So if you're at 17 transitioning into adulthood, going from being a kid to an adult is a different experience. And going through that early adulthood is hard. Leaving high school, being done with high school, going into the college world or the young adult world and going to work is not easy. It is a hard thing for people to do. And that's not easy. And that's okay, Nicholas. It is hard to figure out your future. Trust me, I've got people on here that are older than you, and they're still trying to figure out their future and figure out what it is that it means, what it means to do what we do, and how to create opportunities. And they're still doing that. Right? Okay, now 24, 25, it was a crazy time period. Anybody else have quarter century crisis problems where you're 25 years old and you're like, what is happening? Like, seriously, it is nuts. I'm like, that 25-year-old, I told my wife I wouldn't date her till I was 25 years old. That I had to get through some life. And at that point, she was like 21. So, I mean, it took us that long, and then we started dating at that point. I mean, I waited till I was like figuring things out because I was like, I'm not a grown, formed adult, which is not true for everybody, by the way. You can be 18 and be more mature than I was at 25. But at that point, it was a big deal for me, and I had all kinds of rules. My poor beloved. I had so many damn rules. She was probably like, what is up with this cat? You know, it's like I had a book of rules. It was wild. So, it was just nuts. Growing up can be scary, but there's benefits to it. It's all about the choices you make. Oh, I'm glad you're doing better, King. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad you have found that, I gotta say, time behind bars at all will definitely clarify things. It will clear you up, and it will help you figure out real quick what you don't want to do, what you don't want to be, and where you don't want to be. Because there is nothing pleasant about that. So I'm just saying, it is one of those things that you don't want to mess around and get yourself in that situation. Whatever you can do to help you get out of that, and you can push yourself forward and know that you deserve more, you deserve better, and you deserve to have the future that you want and create the opportunity that you want, that is very important. I said, but yeah, being incarcerated does not help. I said, that is a very difficult thing, as I come from Oklahoma, one of the leading states of incarceration. So I'm just saying we have issues with that here. But yeah, so it is difficult. But yeah, growing up is very scary. Once, I'm honest to you, and it clarified things and cleaned things up real quick. So it was something that you're like, you know what? I said, I learned very, very fast. Wasn't where I needed to be. So ultimately, it is something that I made a decision, and I paid for that decision. So there you go. And I'm like, and that's what you do. Is I said, you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to know what it is you do, and I that's one of the things I do to grow up. Is I was like, I needed to do something different. I needed to say, oh, wait a minute, I'm a grown up now. I'm not a kid. So I'm going to have to do something different. And that's a bad lesson. Don't do that. Go and make fun mistakes. Don't go and make bad mistakes, because that's no good. Yeah, you do have to be careful that people will try and wave money in your face, and they'll try and tell you that it's going to be easy. It's not. I mean, the people that work the hardest, like I watch amazing people that have way more money than I could ever dream of. And ultimately, it comes down to the same thing: hustle, and going out there and promoting yourself and being able to do something better than somebody else. And when you do that thing. It's kind of like crazy artists. I said, I love graffiti art. I don't think graffiti is great, but I love graffiti art. So, I mean, I've seen some beautiful things. So then become a muralist. So then when you become a muralist, then you end up getting paid to do the art that you could do on the side of a building and not get in trouble for it. So it's kind of like figuring out, what is it, those things that I might have gotten in trouble for, that I can make into something that's better for myself and my family, and make sure that you have a life set up for you. Don't know, Nicholas. That's a question that is outside of my wheelhouse. That goes into psychology and a whole lot of other things, culture and background and all these things. So that is very different. So that is something again, that can become a whole nother question. So something that I think we are asking But then, what is it? When does that happen? What is that? And sometimes that question is answered by your family. By what does your family say? And how have you grown up? What are the males in your family? What does that look like? Because it can look different in your family versus my family versus somebody else's family. For some people, it's that you can fix a car. For some people, it's that you can take care of your family. For some people, it's that you can hunt. I said for some people, it's like whatever it is. What is it that makes you a man is something that is very much dependent on where you're from and what kind of place you're in. So this is, maybe this is what I need to do. Just get on and talk. So I am very excited, and I appreciate you both. King, thanks for the questions. Please make sure to jump back on here and get on my videos and let me know how you're doing, because I would like to hear great things that are happening to you. I said why? Because I'm like, New York is awesome, and I'm going, it's an amazing place, and I want you to level up and do great things and do amazing things. And Nicholas, I hope that you can get on here as well and just keep up with things and let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on with your life, and make sure that, hey, if you're deciding on college, what that looks like, or a trade school, or, let me know what's happening. Don't listen to me. If ever I get really down, you know what I like to do? Go outside. Now, I'm obviously ridiculous in that I love gardening, but I will do that. I looked around, brown, brown, brown everywhere, and you know what? I go outside and I see shoots of grass growing, and that to me is important. It's like the way nature works. And to be honest with you, I've had a day today. It's been tough. So even just being on here and you guys talking and you guys visiting back and forth with me, you made my day. You made my day. You made it a better day than when I sat down, and that's important. I said you asking questions and you communicating, that's important. And being honest about where you're at, that's important. I said, but don't worry. Just know that take that next step. Do the next step. What do I want to do? Great. Find somebody who does it. Doesn't matter if it's in your area. It could be anywhere in the country, and reach out and start there and start building those things you need. Build the skills. Watch my business and life channel, Nicholas. Watch it. You'll feel better. I promise. So thank you guys so much. It has been great. And I will jump on here again and we'll have to chat. And I appreciate you all. Have a great day.